crap, and then we actually started it.
I've already started it.
Yeah, that's okay. So
Oh,
that's exactly
jokes
what I'm
on
talking
you,
about.
sir.
That's how that works. Yeah.
That's what you wanted, right?
Have we ever used that? Because I haven't listened to this.
You haven't? Yeah, no, we have cold starts. Of course we do. I've left in a lot of cold starts.
Okay. I
This
should
is-
really listen
Well, I
to
think
this
cold
stuff.
starts help
This is
the
one of them.
audience like relate to you.
Really? Because
See,
all
now
the other
this-
crap we
You
talked
just ruined
about.
this cold start because that's a massive pause. That
We're all.
Oh, we got.
Okay. All right, yo. Welcome. Next episode. This is the newest
Next
episode.
episode.
Sorry.
This is.
Welcome to the latest episode. Another episode of Verbal Laxative. I'm Simpson, and then we got to my right,
Hassan.
I'm Jason.
Bryan.
and yeah, full crew here. All right, and this episode I was especially excited to do because I think.
Wait, did you do that counterclockwise on purpose?
No, shut up. Okay, so in this episode we it's a spoiler alert. Fuck's sake, spoiler alert! Right off the bat, we're gonna talk a little bit about the Game of Thrones episode last time because Bryan has to make a statement.
To you people, this would be episode 3 of season
8.
6.
Season 8.
Yeah, that's
big
all.
battle.
Were you gonna say season 6?
Nope.
Season
Moving
8.
on.
The big
Season
battle.
8, episode 3. That's what we're discussing.
The Battle of Winterfell.
Yeah, Bryan has a
The
statement.
Long
to make.
Night.
Is this called Long Night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah.
statement is I was wrong.
Oh,
there it
thank
is.
you.
Since it's gonna make a clip of that, it's gonna be his ringtone.
Yeah, I was wrong.
That's
I
gonna
was-
be your
to a
ringtone.
beat.
That's gonna be your ringtone.
To a beat.
All right, let's get.
I was
down.
wrong.
Let's get down to the meat and greedy of it.
Yeah, let's get down to it.
So, first scene, the Dothrakis.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Stupid.
Fucking moronic, yeah.
I think their whole entire tactics were stupid. I don't know
Yeah,
how
who
happened.
came up with it? Jon and Daenerys?
They're like, okay, it's like, listen here, Danny. Listen here, Danny. We're up against people that can bring back people from the dead. So what I propose is we give them a handicap. We send them a couple thousand horse riders, completely just let them die, and then we can have a challenge on our hands.
Boy.
Not a couple of thousand. Technically, her Dothraki army is supposed to be anywhere from like 10,000 to 100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was terrible because one, they
Imagine
weren't.
10,000 worth of Dothraki that just went into the meat grinder.
Yeah.
So all the horses and
It
everything.
was definitely a meat grinder. Like
Well,
you
it's
just
like,
see you
It was
just see
so
this
quick.
you just see this blaze of light and it just gets engulfed by the shadows.
Which it was a cool image, but that was a stupid move tactically.
yeah, I think
It was just for the filming.
it was
just
it was
for-
all cinematic.
It was all
It
for
was-
the effect.
yeah.
It's like you have Melisandre lighting all their swords on fire and everything.
They were
looks
lucky
super
to have
cool.
Melisandre. She wasn't even supposed to be there. Like Dany and Jon had no idea she was there. Like they
Yeah.
never accounted for her.
No one knew she was gonna be there.
We'll talk about her
But
extreme value.
what I'm saying is they basically set them up for suicide because they weren't given Valyrian steel. They weren't given dragon glass. How are they supposed to fight the undead?
Well,
this
they
was
could
dumb.
fight the whites, but they can't kill White Walkers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
They
the
can fight
whites-
the zombies, basically, the ones that get up.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can be killed by anything.
They can be killed by anything. So they can. Okay. So
Fire's the best, but like regular steel can kill them. It's
Mm.
the ice guys, the ones that actually look like ice with
Right.
the blue eyes.
right.
They're the ones that can be only killed.
Oh,
by
so they're
Valyrian.
immune
Yeah.
unless killed by a certain thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, grind the bodies of the zombies.
The other thing was
But
why.
before we actually get there,
Okay.
I'm just gonna play devil's advocate, and I'm gonna be on the side of like, I think it's really stupid, but I'm gonna be on the side of like trying to explain why they did it this way,
Okay.
and just set aside the cinematic effect of it. Like a cavalry charge in like against a regular, like a human not undead army. Usually it's very effective because it's very much a big shock value, right? Like if you're standing there, you see guys on horses charging at you, like it's usually enough to break a fucking line, right? Like people are disciplined up to a point, and it takes a lot more discipline and balls back, historically for like spearmen or pikemen to actually just stand their ground as the horses are coming, right? So then that's probably what they were trying to gun for. But then up against like fucking zombies that just throw themselves at you, like it won't work, right?
But
I'm gonna
there's
stick
no
with-
emotion.
But they were going with what the knowledge that they had. Like in the history of Westeros, like the Dothraki are known for
Exactly.
their
They
cavalry.
also that's how they
They're-
always win, right?
And
Like,
if you remember season 7, the Loot Train episode, how coordinated they were in their attack.
Yeah.
When they got on top of their horses, they were
Yeah.
standing on their horses and they're wielding their blades.
Yeah.
That shows their skill. And then so that's what those are the assumptions they're going with, that maybe these guys have a chance.
like this is what they've always won with, a cavalry charge that just breaks a line, right? And then I'm also I'm just pulling this out of my ass. Well, kind of my history and plus my ass, saying that once they were doing the charge, they're probably just gonna skirmish and then run double back, run around. That's what you kind of do with cavalry. You kind of keep moving.
Well,
right?
that's exactly what they did in the Loot Train
Right,
episode. So.
Right. But what happened was they got there and they realized that shit was not going to happen, and they just got consumed by the dead, and then it was over in a couple seconds. Nobody knew
And
what
it's
was
surprising
going on.
because Jordan, he was at the front line, and he's the only one
Oh,
that
yeah.
came back.
He totally got the
Like,
fuck.
did he
noped
just like
the fuck
decided
out of-
like, hell no, and just
he
turn
noped the
around?
fuck out of that.
I'm gonna stick with the you know nothing Jon Snow route, and that's they did so many things that are stupid.
Yeah,
because
but-
right behind the Dothraki lined up, it was like the trebuchets were set up.
Yeah. But I'm gonna actually say, like, even with the explanation that I gave, it still is stupid and doesn't make sense, because like Jason said, the trebuchet part was like, outside in the wide open, but just the cavalry charge itself, like, you don't have to use cavalry to charge right in the beginning, right? Like
No.
like
Should be used for like flanking.
yeah, exactly. That's what a lot of people historically they did. They would hide their cavalry, right? They hide their cavalry until they're right in the thick and middle of it with the other army, and then they'd send out their cavalry to flank everybody and surround and flank, right? And they could totally do that. They didn't have to send them all to the meat grinder anyway. So even like with the Devil's Advocate, if they were paying me to advocate their move, I still can't do it because it's still just quite a dumb move, just to charge with all these guys right in.
When you look at the behind the scenes from the director's point of view, they were talking about, one, it's like a spectacle. Two was they wanted to show the fear in the audience, because we know these Dothraki and we know their potential, and for them to just get eaten by this meat grinder, you wanted to feel the fear from the Nightwalkers.
It was a
right?
cinematic. It was for like just cinematic effect.
Yeah, it was
Plus-
all for the audience.
Yeah.
Plus, they didn't have to like animate the horses and stuff. Which
I also
would be more
wonder.
difficult.
I also wonder if it's like, screw the actors. We just didn't want to pay for the horses and the actors, and just cut them out of the script.
Well, like it's not so many people, so
I think it's pretty expensive to film all of that charge.
They spent that episode. They spent 5 weeks shooting it.
It was like
Yes,
55 nights.
55
It was-
days and nights.
night.
Yeah.
Nights.
Because there was no.
And
day
if you think
shooting,
of
so it
weekends
was all
off,
night.
man,
Oh,
that's a
yeah.
long
So-
time.
it
Nice.
seems like such a pain. But I think it'd be kind of fun to be just one of the extras in that,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
just
yeah.
like go do whatever as like
Unless
a zombo.
unless you're like you're an extra, but then it's like, yeah, we'll just digitally copy you and duplicate.
Even so, I could be like, hey, that's me.
Emmy. So basically, when you look at the behind the scenes, the directors were not thinking of what it would be like.
No,
or,
they didn't. They weren't doing it out of like realism or like
Yeah.
historical state.
or even just based off the characters, like how would they fought. Like,
But they would have fought like that. Those characters, the Dothraki, they would have fought like that.
but like,
They-
yeah, they're
Yeah.
loyal and they would follow their queen.
Well,
Yes,
I think
They're-
he's talking
yeah.
about.
but I mean, they have tactical players like Tyrion and stuff, and
Yeah,
he
they
would not have done that.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, Jon Snow and Daenerys, and then like, yeah, they were really weak that episode, right? Like,
they,
if I was gonna say they almost did nothing.
they were useless.
Yeah.
For her being the mother of dragons and this and that, she did nothing in that episode. And John being, that's the thing that pissed me off the most, was the dragons were both their dragons, the good dragons, were taken out of battle so quickly just with like the
They were
Storm.
taken out, by the storm.
and then the whole episode they're just disoriented, like,
Yeah, they're
pretty
just
much like,
flying around.
oh, I can't fly, I can't figure out where the fight is happening.
Yeah,
pretty much.
and it was in the after. It was what was it? The director's cut or whatever. Afterward, they were saying that the initial plan was not for them to reveal their dragons yet. They were waiting for the Night King
Night
to
King
get
to show up,
lured
yeah.
out. But Daenerys, because she just saw all her cavalry just get destroyed, she
jumped
panicked. Well, she kind of like did it. She went
jumped
all
the gun.
emotion.
She came
jumped
out
the
right.
gun, came out right
jumped-
away,
yeah.
and just started burning everything.
And then-
But what was she expecting?
I think that's a better move though. But that's what they should have stuck to.
They were
Just keep burning up all the freaking zombies.
What they were expecting was the Dothraki are going to make a dent in the army, and that's going to cause the Night King to come out with his dragon. Once he shows his face, then they could go attack him 2-on-1. But he played it smarter.
And just melted everything.
His army killed the Dothraki, and that agitated Dany, so she jumped in, and now he took him out. Like, he came at them 1-on-1.
She just seems quite hot-headed. Like, no matter how you slice it, she's just when things are going a little bit awry, she just starts to like fucking be like, fuck it, I'm gonna do things my way. Just disregard the plan or whatever.
Yeah, she's still pretty immature in that sense.
She is very spoiled still. Like, she's just like it has to be done her way, and if it's not, then you're disloyal or your loyalty is called.
She's quite hot-headed.
Yeah. And she also demands respect.
Yeah.
Demands respect and is quite hot-headed. It's like that. It's like if the vice president of whatever your company came in and just started making changes, and then except this one has like dragons that orders you to die if you didn't.
Oh yeah, you get burned.
Yeah. It's just coming to micromanage you. From corporate.
I guess
it's like, why is the window open by the way?
So I wasn't a fan of Jon as well. Like, as you said, they kind of did nothing.
Yeah.
And like, you know how like Jon was trying to get to the Night King?
Yeah.
And he just kept first he got stopped by the raising of the army when the Night King raised the dead. And the second was he just got stuck by the dragon.
Yeah.
He never really properly fought the Night King.
Yeah, he was even
no
one did. Everybody was waiting for that.
The closest one is Theon. Really, to
Theon had like one try to have a stab at him.
He showed his non-existent balls.
But like with Jon, weren't there all these prophecy about the return of the prince?
The prince that was promised.
Yeah, prince that was promised. Isn't that related to the Night King? Like, you would think.
Yeah, but that's why that theory has been called into question now. Now people are thinking that somebody else is the prince who was promised.
The show creators are just probably not bothering with it anymore.
Okay,
somebody
else. It could be somebody else. That's fine.
Somebody else meaning the person who did.
But what is the point of Jon coming back then?
Azor Ahai.
Because the Lord of Light brought them back. That's why he kept bringing them back.
Yeah, I know what happened.
Because they have
to.
Don't you know?
They helped.
Beric Dondarrion, he got brought back so many times to die in that castle.
Just to die in that castle, but he got Arya to where she needed to be.
That's all. He was just like resurrected over and over and over again just so he can take a couple hits on this one day.
He got shanked like 50 times.
Shanked 50 times. Yeah, he got shanked quite a bit and he died just for that day.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. Like,
just like prophecy
that they will keep. The Lord of Light will keep bringing them back until they fulfill what they are meant to do. So Beric Dondarrion, his, I guess, mission in life was to make sure that Arya gets saved, because then she has a much bigger role to play eventually.
In Winterfell.
Yeah.
Like
in Winterfell.
So I should make that clear.
Yes, Brian, you hear that? In Winterfell.
Yeah, not King's Landing. Sorry, yeah.
As I was saying, like, I wasn't expecting Arya to kill the Night King.
Oh, I know you weren't.
Yeah.
We know you weren't.
But mostly because it didn't, like, okay, even though she killed the Night King, it didn't really do it for me. Like, it was fine that she killed him, and it was like pretty cool the way he killed him, or she killed him. But it didn't feel like. But what was the point? You know what I mean?
I can only imagine what you were thinking.
What I'm trying to say is, like, what is the payoff of her killing the Night King?
I know what you mean in the sense that he died in a really unclimactic
But for
way.
example, like, let's say, okay, the next boss is like Cersei, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say people love Sam. He's a great guy, and he kills Cersei, and it's like, oh, that's cool. He killed Cersei, but why? Like what was his gripe? What, like, it doesn't. It's like that payoff where you build. There's certain characters that wants to kill Cersei, right?
Yeah.
It could be like Jaime, it could be Sansa, like these people who like got ruined by Cersei's, or their lives being ruined by her.
Yeah.
Like, they would have a more meaningful reason to kill her. But if Sam did it, sure, it's unexpected, but would it be good writing?
That's how it's done. Is what really matters.
You were mentioning the behind the scenes featurette or whatever. In there, the creators mentioned that like 3 years ago they had decided that was going to be Arya. 3 years ago, like
I didn't hear about
season
the third
4.
year.
Maybe it's the way for my thing. I just I didn't like how the Night King didn't say anything. Like what, especially with Bran, the Night King and Bran, right? Nothing was really fleshed out or explained.
Yeah.
He went up to Bran.
That's why it wasn't satisfying.
Bran fucking just pieced out for like most of the battle.
He was high for so long.
Just to go.
I'm hoping they actually explain what he did during that time. He
I
just
hope so,
warped
too.
into Ravens.
Yeah,
and
he
then
just walked
like,
into
yeah,
Ravens.
see ya.
He's recording
I'm
history.
just bored.
Literally,
He had to record it. He had to watch the battle through the Ravens.
That's fucking it. And I was like, okay, I gotta turn on the cameras. Hold on.
literally,
be right back.
Bran, like, if he had died, nothing, it wouldn't have changed anything.
Night King then it just came up to him. We don't know what the hell's going on. We can tell that there's something between the both of them because he wants to kill him, right? And they're like looking at each other, and then he doesn't say anything. Granted, he's never said anything, but just nothing happens. Nothing is explained, or there's no sense of okay, like oh this is it. This is why. This is whatever, and then he just dies, right?
Sorry, go for it.
There's 2 points I want to make on that. I think personally, we haven't seen the end of the Night King or the zombies.
Like they could still be explaining stuff in the next episode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not just explaining stuff. Their threat might not be over.
But
Even
it's only
I-
like
I
what
don't-
4 episodes, not
Three
3 episodes
episodes
left,
left.
right?
right, but the way I envision it is episode 4 and 5 they're gonna deal with Cersei, and like towards the middle of 5 they're coming back home, hopefully victorious, and then the threat emerges again. Because a long time ago, George R. R. Martin, the author of the books, had said that he envisions the end of this series to be just like snow and blowing snow and like winds and like just so.
I believe they were saying that the Night King War, like the war between like the King's Landing and all that, is meaningless because the Night King War is like the real war, right?
Yeah.
That everyone needs to face,
Right.
kind of thing. Like that's the most important war. But so far in the TV series, it kind of portrayed like it wasn't that big of a threat.
Right. It looks like it's done now.
It looks like it's done,
Which is what
exactly.
I'm saying. I don't think it's done.
Which is possible.
But they're not gonna be doing like a sequel to this.
No, but that's my other point. Then I think I read a couple of articles, people talking about how the fact that it could be, this is just rumors, but it could be that they didn't explain who the Night King is or anything like that because they want to leave that story for the prequel that they're working on that's set 8,000 years in the past.
I had that thought before too.
That's gonna be
It's
about,
always a marketing thing.
yeah, so
Jeez.
so it could be that, but I don't think the creators would be, because they have nothing to do with the prequel.
Yeah.
But
Well,
then again, it's the HBO bosses who
what
say,
if George R. R. Martin gave a script to the TV series, but then he was like, I want people to read my book, and therefore I'm going to give them an ending that's not satisfying. So therefore people want to read my book and get the true ending.
I
no,
think so.
they paid him out so much he can't give him an ending that's not satisfying.
Because what he
and
said
ruin
also
their
is like he
series.
just told them what he was gonna do, what he had planned for the ending
Yeah.
of his series. But then he said, "But you guys, do whatever."
He gave him the major like 3 or 4 or 5 plot.
Yeah, he gave them the destination.
Yeah,
but how
after-
you arrive there is...
Yeah,
After
that's his
then,
point.
yeah.
Like you guys can arrive wherever a different way. You might not even follow whatever ending I gave you. All he did was just tell them how he planned on ending the books, right? And then they could either do a similar ending, the same ending, or a completely different ending, right? But that's all he did. He's not saying like you have to do this.
Yeah, just even though he gave them the major plot points, that doesn't mean they have to follow those. Like they could make their own ending still, I think.
So going back to your point before, though, Hassan, you were saying at the end they basically point towards how the threat's not really over. Are you saying that it's just going to be left as an open-ended
I don't know.
ending?
I remember reading a long time ago when I started the show started and I started reading the books about how he envisions the end of just like desolate and just like winter is here kind of thing, because that's what's been talked about since the beginning. Like winter is coming, now winter is here, and basically at the end winter is here to stay kind of thing. So it'd just be like, so if winter is here and winter is to stay, that would mean that maybe the Night King threat isn't over.
Well, that's the thing. Like, since
Or-
their
or-
seasons last like so many years,
Or as
They can't-
bleak as his stories are, and like, so it could be that this war the Night King wins. Like maybe he's faking it right now.
in
I don't.
some underhanded way,
Yeah.
and it's just like
Head
unveiled at the end.
What's the Sub-Zero? It's like, that was my clone. It was never me.
He made a snowman.
It's the Naruto thing. It's the ninjutsu.
Yeah.
He's
I
a
don't
block
know
of
about
wood.
Yeah, exactly. He's just like a block of ice.
So here's
Oh
a
my
question
God.
though.
Then-
Going back to Arya's stuff though, how did she just happen to like? Because they're surrounded by the White Walkers. Even.
Skills.
Her
my
training. The
But
Yeah.
they're
faceless
out in
men.
the open.
Remember
the
Jon Snow? Remember that previous episode? She snuck up on Jon Snow right in the middle of the woods, and then he's like, "How the fuck did you sneak up on
Yeah,
him?"
but this is like
True, but-
surrounded by White Walkers and zombos, and she just does a jump attack
know how,
out
like,
in the
okay,
open.
That's been her
She
training.
learned from Naruto. You remember that episode where he was fighting that guy with the white eyes?
Oh, Haji?
I
Or
don't
Neji?
know. Neji, yeah,
Neji.
remember?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just comes up from underground and uppercuts it. That was Arya.
Her life.
Well,
With
that one makes sense because he doesn't see through floor.
Yeah.
And Naruto
well,
was
this
like
one.
tunneling.
Like even if she had like stolen a Zombo's face or something, you'd think that they'd find it suspicious. Hey, that guy's just running up towards our king there. And
She did the solid snake move where she just put on a cardboard
Cardboard
box.
box.
And
But
then
it was funny because before that scene, she was like, like doing the solid snake thing in the library.
Well, she was running out.
And she wasn't like invisible to them. Like they sense her,
because she was scared.
right?
She
But
was-
then why would she?
Because Melisandre talked to her and reminded her about the prophecy of her, of
Yeah.
what she envisioned.
And also
for her.
gave her that pep talk that
That-
she got in
and-
season
and
one.
gave
Yeah.
her a
Or-
fucking cardboard box.
And then it kind of clicked for Arya. She calmed down and she's like, I know what I have to do.
Oh,
Arya has learned
She just
dick.
needed that pep talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Oh, my
hoping when the Night King grabbed her by the throat, he
Yeah.
would chokeslam her.
Just like the Undertaker.
Yeah, like Undertaker.
No, Night King at that point. It's WrestleMania!
No, I didn't expect that at all, that Arya would do that. And when he grabbed her like that, I thought that was it. I thought she was gonna be one of the dead ones, basically.
Yeah,
That's what I thought. But then,
she dropped the knife, but she did that move before.
How happy
Yeah.
would you be if she just instead of coming up on that, she comes up with like a chair, like WWE style, hits him on the back, and then fucking like Stone Cold, but like dead, like undead.
oh,
Stone
the Undertaker
Cold.
could make a
Oh,
showing.
the Undertaker!
Yeah.
Oh, what did I think of that? Yeah, the actual Undertaker, but dead Undertaker comes off as.
I do hope you're right, Hassan, that we haven't seen the last of winter, but based on how the show is going, I do feel like they're done with winter, and the next 2 episodes going to be Cersei.
Summer.
And then the last episode is going to be like kind of like Lord of the Rings, where
Close
it's like
off.
a aftermath thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
just trying to show like people's ending.
I think the last episode might not be that. Like the last episode will start like that. Like, the next 3 are all 80 minutes long too, just as long
Yeah,
as this one.
that's fair.
So it could be like the first 20 minutes they wrap up everything and they're going back home, and then poof, something else happens.
Oh, it could be something like this new darkness, and then it's like
Here's what I think.
wait for a sequel thing.
This is just me pulling another thing out of my ass. Okay, so they go fight Cersei, they destroy her, and then I am guessing Daenerys does something that just makes her look really bad. Like maybe she just roasts Cersei or whatever, not even giving any mercy or whatever. Maybe the final episodes is actually Jon Snow versus Daenerys.
I could see
It
that
will.
because they
it will.
haven't addressed.
I have the feeling that will be that.
I was
like-
saying they haven't addressed when Jon Snow talked to Daenerys
yeah,
about
totally.
the actual origin.
And like
So-
I imagine it could go both ways because it feels like the guy it feels like he would give up his position for her. I definitely think it's in him to do that. I don't think he really cares too much about the throne. And I read some online that there's
Yeah.
there's like analogous story in the Westeros universe of
Yeah.
something like that happening with one.
Well,
of the
even his
Targaryen
personality, he doesn't care about titles.
Yes,
has to be
except
right.
there's one thing he doesn't. I don't think he'll do that if he's shown that Daenerys is actually not like the kind person that she is. Maybe she shows what the side of her when she roasts like the Tarleys or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like the Mad King.
Well,
Yeah.
she is her father's daughter.
Because this is a purposeful contradiction that was presented to Jon Snow, right? Like from Sam, he's like, yeah, I saw her do this, and then Jon Snow's trying to defend her. Yeah, like they took up the sword against her. And then Sam was like, well, would you have done it? Would you have spared them, or would you have killed them? Right? And you know, Jon Snow, he wouldn't have. He would have spared them. He would have shown them mercy. So you could
he's
tell.
an honorable
Well,
guy.
he did because they showed that when the Karstarks, the kid,
Exactly.
the Umbers, they came up, and Sansa was saying like, we should just get rid of him.
Yeah, but Snow, Snow's that guy that's, you know, you could tell that he also feels that conflict.
Yeah.
That conflict between that as well. Like, everybody in the North obviously wanted him to be king, like, voted him Mr. Popular, right? They don't want her. And then I imagine that I'm looking at you when I say motivation. His real motivation
It's going to be my next career.
Yeah,
motivational speaker.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I don't think she has motivation to go to King's Landing. I guess it's completely wrong. I think I should make a career out of this.
People will be motivated to make him wrong.
You know what our friend said? James, shout out to James if he's listening. He said, Bryan is like the prophet, but everything that he says is the opposite of what comes true.
Basically the weatherman.
Yeah.
The rainmaker.
Yeah, the rain. But
Rain Man.
The rain. Yeah, you could fulfill that role, but that's what I'm saying. I'm guessing maybe at the end is Dany versus Jon.
I do think
it will.
A more disappointing storyline would be if they rule together and they just find peace.
Well, if it is one against the other, do you think it'll be an actual big battle, or is it just going to be something more personal, like more between the two of them?
It will probably be a battle because you already have the factions
battle.
drawn already, right?
Yeah.
You got Tyrion, you got and Varys and those guys that they would be rooting for Daenerys.
You would think they would have to nerf Daenerys by killing her dragons, because like, how's Jon going to fight a dragon?
Well, not necessarily.
Well, it depends. They each have a dragon right now, essentially.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Well,
Because Jon is a Targaryen, so he can't control a dragon.
But I imagine those dragons would throw down their loyalty for Dany instead of Jon.
Or they could throw it for Jon too.
Maybe.
Because
he's the guy.
They've always had the connection, right?
Yeah.
The Targaryens have always had a connection with their dragons, like some kind of, I don't know, mental or psychic or whatever it is. But so maybe the dragons will realize too that Jon's.
I don't think the dragons go for who is king. I think they just go for which Targaryen they're.
Well, it is like a magical sense kind of thing, because I don't know, for a while it was like the origin of the Targaryens getting all these dragons was they just stopped hatching for anyone else, except for the Targaryen family, which is why they got all incestuous, to carry on the pure bloodline. And
that's when Wincest makes sense.
For them, yes.
If it gives you a military advantage, that's when Wincest makes sense.
Did they ever tested Jon's fireproofness? Because like,
that's why I was thinking that when he was up against basically the dragon, I was thinking maybe he'd get some fire on him, but he'd be like overall okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a good scene. They didn't do that yet.
No.
It was weird too, because that blue fire destroyed the wall, and that's how the Night King and the army went through.
Yeah.
But then later, when he was storming the castle and he shot the castle, those stones withheld that fire.
Well, his face was destroyed. That dragon's face was destroyed at that point, right? So maybe he can't make a really concentrated blast anymore.
Do you think that, I don't know how much it cost for them just to do that dragon battle, but it must have been like the entire budget of the first season, right?
Probably. The last couple of seasons, season 7 and 8, I don't think they've even released official budgets, because those budgets are huge.
It's expensive, and shooting at night is not easy.
No.
Okay, I want to ask you this because has a Targaryen ever fought another Targaryen before in the lore?
The Targaryens have had issues between them, yeah.
So they've had fights like Targaryen versus Targaryen, dragon versus dragon.
I can't remember exactly, but I remember reading some things about like brothers fighting for the throne or something like that.
And you think they would be riding the dragons against each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably. I mean, like I just feel like the dragons would would be the closest with whichever Targaryen they have a bond with, not just who's king or whatever. They don't recognize.
Well, we also haven't seen the condition of the dragon that Jon was riding, because it got pretty owned pretty badly in that dragon fight.
In the teaser for the next episode, you see 2 dragons flying, right?
Yeah, I saw that, but it's like one is obviously still injured, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think watching the Battle of Winterfell, one of the things I don't like is battles at night doesn't look that great.
That was a big controversy for the episode.
Like, it's kind of I could see what they're going for with the whole horrorness of it. But a lot of the fights it's really blurry, and
it is hard to see. Yeah,
things are just hidden by the darkness.
That's what you sacrifice, like the big battlefield panoramic shot if you're doing it at night.
Yeah, the wide shots didn't look as impressive. Like, I guess with the one with the Dothrakis, I guess that was pretty cool with the whole imagery of these
The
glowing
fires, yeah.
lights just being engulfed by darkness. But after that, it just
But-
didn't seem as good. Like, Battle of the Bastards, I felt was a better fight.
Yeah, tons of people though, they really complained a lot about how the episode was just too dark to see anything for like the first half hour or so.
Right.
But,
it takes away from the grandeur of it, because in that fight, the feeling I had that when I was watching it is just, wow, Winterfell is kind of small. It's not supposed to be small. It's quite huge. The keep, the whole castle, the whole thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be quite big, but each battle, it's just because, I don't know, it's dark, but it just shows close-up fights on the walls. You get this feeling that it's actually quite, you feel like it's small.
It feels
I also
claustrophobic
think
a
that
bit.
the size of because they're trying to show like the size of the undead, right? The army.
Yeah.
So maybe that just kind of
They-
they're trying to emphasize that more than the size of Winterfell.
I think they're trying to emphasize how small
I
the
mean,
army
but
is.
if you show how big Winterfell is, and you show that just entire field, the entire field outside of Winterfell is covered with undead, I feel like that would have shown you even more of the scale of how much undead there was.
Right, but that'd be just one shot. This way, they kept it constant in your mind that these guys are outnumbered.
Right, but it also gave me that feeling constantly, like, oh yeah, these walls are kind of.
But I
fucking
think
short.
it was built like that to like pull you into the fight.
Yeah.
Because in a real battle, if you're in a battle, it's not gonna be all clear. Your visibility is just like
Yeah.
3 feet ahead of
Oh
you.
no, I
and
get
you
it.
can see.
That they were, showing like the individual battles, but okay. So for that, I just felt like it didn't give you that feeling of, oh my god, this horde of undead. It's just just piles of it underneath the wall, not like, oh, your Winterfell is fucked. I didn't really get that kind of feeling. But also another one is right during the end when you see everybody was getting overwhelmed and kind of like backed into a wall. I don't know if you caught it, but in some scenes, like people, they're showing they're having their last stand in one location, and then the camera would cut, and it cut back to the same people. I forget who it was, but they're in another location, the same people, but doing a last stand in another location.
That's just showing how tough it was for them.
They're having a last stand in two separate
Yeah,
locations.
that's how rough it was for them.
I was really surprised Sam didn't die. Every time the camera was on him,
It looked like he was. Yeah.
like there's a horde around him.
I feel bad for Ed though.
yeah.
Yeah, he saves
Man.
the fat guy,
And he
just
doesn't
dies.
even freaking avenge his death. He just runs
No.
away like, God damn it, man.
Come on, Sam.
And he's always talking about how he was the first one to kill a White Walker.
Yeah,
way
but
back.
at least they do show him kill like 2 or 3 of
Oh,
them.
I guess that makes sense. He's like that cockiness. It's like, oh yeah, I killed a White Walker,
Yeah.
and then you put him into test, and he just.
But
does
he's
the-
like the only one that killed a White Walker other than like Arya.
And well, John did one in Battle of Hard.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
John
yeah,
did.
Yeah,
Okay.
actually surprising. You didn't really see not many White Walker died, or even like relevant
Well,
characters.
they all died.
White Walkers didn't even
Arya-
do anything.
Yeah,
They just showed him walk into
they
Winterfell.
walked
and
in
that's
like
all
they
it
owned
was.
What's the
the
point
club
of
at
carrying
the-
spears?
It was this posse, right? It was just like
Yeah,
they just
his
there to look
entourage.
cool.
You know,
You
like
see them in Mad Men just walking.
They just walked up into the club. Just.
Yeah, in suits.
like in last season, like you know how the Night King got the first dragon when he tossed a spear.
Yeah.
I felt like maybe none of the Night or the Walkers could do that. Maybe only Night King is the only.
He's the only
who
one
can
with
use-
the anti-aircraft capability.
Yeah, he's the only one who can use his arms,
And
and
he wasn't
everyone
on the
else just
ground.
carries the spears for him.
He wasn't on the ground. He was flying that day, so they had no anti-aircraft capability.
Before we go too far away from this, I want to go back to talking about how stupid their tactics were.
Yes.
So,
Give us another one. Load it.
So they're on the walls. This at the point where they're retreating back into the castle. Basically, the walls, they barely have any archers.
Yeah.
None of the archers even shooting. Why
Oh.
weren't they like volleying
The
out
worst
arrows?
was when they burned the trenches,
Yeah.
and then the Nightwalkers were like slowly trying to put out the fire, and the archers just kind of watch and be like, "We should do something."
That was stupid. Yeah, the archers not firing is stupid.
But
Maybe it's just
also-
they didn't have enough archers to man the
Well,
wall.
just like when the guys are retreating back in,
Yeah.
why aren't they already going to the walls?
Yeah.
Because they lack the manpower when they're already like climbing up the walls to like just push them off and everything,
It
right?
kinda, and it showed them that they should have had enough archers because if you remember, they brought up people to relieve the archers as well,
Yeah.
right?
But they weren't even volleying arrows or anything.
No, they didn't have. There was no like volleying like discipline there. It wasn't like fire
Yeah.
one and then the other line comes back and fire second. It was just sporadic firing.
I
But you
think
barely even saw that.
And I'm kind of surprised because you would think Winterfell would have quite a bit of storage of like oil for the lamps for torches, right?
Yeah.
And a common
would make
tactic in medieval warfare is to throw boiling oil over.
Like a Molotov kind of
Yeah,
thing.
well, no, not just fucking buckets that you can just, especially when they're climbing up like that, right? And you can just throw the oil out and light them on fire and shit.
Oh, also, just so we also address this, it was in our WhatsApp chat. It is a pretty good point. You know, Brian was saying why they didn't use wildfire, but Hassan, maybe you'd be best to address why they didn't.
Yeah, Jamie should have brought
'cause
some
I think-
wildfire to help out.
Okay, so
It's a good argument.
Here, you just say what you said. Just repeat what you said in there.
Oh, okay. Well, watching the battle, it just seems like Winterfell wasn't a great place to fight the war. That they should have went south, combined with Cersei.
No, just
Not
talk
that
about the
far.
wildfire.
Just the wildfire. We'll go back to that part when we want to shit on you again. No, he was talking about the part with the fire and whatever.
Oh, where King's Landing has the wildfire.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Battle of Blackwater.
Yeah, that would help.
Alright.
I don't exactly remember my point.
Yeah, you know what?
Okay,
you
I'll
blew
just
it.
say your point. The question was basically why didn't they use wildfire? Because obviously the zombos and everything are weak against fire, and wildfire like burns so intensely and it spreads like crazy. But yeah, I'll let Hassan say why they didn't.
well,
Aside from not having wildfire.
aside from not having wildfire,
it's
even
bad
if they
idea
had
to use wildfire because
even if they had access to wildfire, it wouldn't be a good idea in a confined space like a fort.
yeah.
Which is what Winterfell is.
Within the
basically.
walls.
Within the walls. Even outside the walls, if they use it on the whites, the zombie guys, then wildfire doesn't extinguish. It keeps going. It's not regular fire. That's why
How long would it go if they create?
it would go basically until there's nothing left to consume.
Oh, so they could make like a literal firewall, but then they would just like.
No, they
make
can't
this-
It would
control it.
spread
That was the
like-
They
thing,
can't
like-
control it. If the wind blows it one way or the other, or if the zombies coming through, they're gonna get lit on fire. But they don't feel the pain or the fire. They're just gonna keep walking towards
And plus they're
Winterfell.
basically in an open field too.
Hmm.
And if they come in contact with the defenders of Winterfell, or the walls, or the houses, or the storage the spaces of Winterfell, then everything goes on fire.
Well, the one
You-
thing they can do is if all is lost and they're done for, they can just pull a Mad King and just say burn it all, just light everything on fire, right?
Scorched earth policy.
So the reason it worked to use wildfire in the Battle of Blackwater is because it was more
It was
possible to be contained in
Well-
the water itself.
Well, it was used as a last resort, first of all, and it was used outside the city walls, and it was used on the harbor,
But then-
where it disintegrated, or it killed the navy, the ships and everything, but then it just kind of went on into the water, where eventually
it
once
still
it-
burns on the water.
it
but I
still
guess
burns
it's
on the water, but
more
it's-
containable than
yeah.
on land.
But didn't Cersei use wildfire in season 6 when he blew up the priest?
yeah, but that whole building was gone. You did see the explosion there, right?
Okay, but the fire went out, so it is possible to engulf the fire. to
Well, you
stop
don't
it.
see wildfire burning.
But
and
the
all
fire
stuff
went
you
out
don't see.
because the building was huge enough to the same stones came back down onto the fire or
Okay.
whatever, to
My other
extinguish it.
Sorry, my other gripe I was wondering is, so the Night King, he's connected to Bran whenever Bran does a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't he know that's a trap? Wouldn't he just kind of like sit back?
Obviously, he didn't.
who would know it's a trap?
The Night King.
The Night King would know it's a trap.
Yeah, because he's connected to Bran.
Yeah.
Like he should be able to see what's coming, right?
Well, then that's why there's theories out there that I don't know if you guys have read of this, but I'm going to talk about it since we already.
Go ahead.
That Bran is the Night King,
Yeah.
yeah, there's that
I've heard
theory
the
of that.
theory.
I've heard it.
which kind of works in that sense because, like, even in the episode when the Night King walks up, they share a look of like almost respect or recognition of each other. Like it's not like
Hello, future me.
yeah.
Hello.
If they make that, like, if they show that eventually, that'd be great.
And
that
the-
would be a good payoff.
The other theory to that is, which is why I also think that the Night King threat isn't over. Is remember when he takes Craster's sons in the first season or the second season it was?
No, who took what?
You remember the wildling camp, the Crasters, where Gilly
Yeah,
is
they
from?
kept on
Gilly's
giving out
from.
the babies.
Craster used to keep his. He would have kids with his own daughters, basically, and then the children from that, if they were girls, he would keep them and let them grow up to be his wives again when they're older. And if he had sons, he would put them out into the forest for the White Walkers to take. That was his deal. That's why his encampment stayed safe, because the White Walkers never attacked him, because they were getting basically soldiers for
So why
their
was
army.
that then?
But how did they do it? The White Walkers, whenever they took a kid, they showed one scene where the Night King, all he does is touch him.
Uh-huh.
And then when he does the dragon, he just touches the dragon.
Yeah.
So the only other people who have been touched by the Night King so far are Bran in season 6, when he gets
But it
grabbed
wasn't.
in the dream.
That wasn't a physical touch. That was a mental touch.
But it's still a touch, because when he came back out, when he woke up, the OG three-eyed raven said he touched you or something like that.
Yes, he grabbed his arm.
Yeah, and then when he woke up, the old three-eyed raven was like, he touched you or something like that.
But I mean, when he changed those babies, it was quite instant, though, right?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
So I don't know if it's just a timed bomb where eventually they'll
well,
turn
like
into White Walkers
like you're saying,
themselves.
like he has to have intent behind it or something.
Yeah,
like
I mean, like they
Yeah,
tried it. He was quite.
but-
it
Well,
was
one
quite
was those
purposeful.
two was physical. This was still mental.
No, well, fuck's sakes. He still touched Arya. He didn't automatically.
No,
turn.
Oh yes, you're right. Arya didn't change.
yeah, but
I don't know.
there are some there are theories out there, and with a show like there's tons of theories.
And didn't
because
they
everybody-
show the children of the forest creating the Night King from that poor dude?
Yeah,
Yeah, they stuck a stone in them.
Yeah.
That's the Night King, and that's the other thing. We want to know that story. The fans do.
Right.
But since the prequel show is going to be set around that time,
Yeah.
8,000 years ago,
Yeah.
then that's why some people are saying maybe they left that story for that now. So
But
I
I,
don't know,
do
like,
feel like
they
there's no
would've-
payoff then. If they're gonna leave it
that's
for
true.
that,
If they're going to leave it for that, that just ruins this whole series as itself.
Exactly.
it ruins this huge plot line of Winter's Coming, because I
Yeah.
feel like the payoff is not that great of a
Watch
payoff.
another show to figure out the
I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. You would have to watch another
it's
show.
plausible that that could be, maybe it could happen that it turns out Bran is the Night King, but then they would have to retcon some stuff, some hard stuff, because we saw the children of the forest create the Night King from that guy, right? So they'd have to retcon and be like
They would have to figure a time travel
That
thing.
didn't
That's why I
happen.
think the more likely thing is it's not quite as connected, but just the rumors that Night King's actually just a Stark, like an ancestor.
Well, he is a Stark. Like,
Well, I know
no,
Bran is, but I'm just saying
No, the Night King.
oh, it's confirmed that he is.
It's not. Well, I don't know if it's confirmed everywhere, but like it's like 90% sure that it's a Stark.
If we
From
go
what?
with the brand theory.
No,
right?
if
No, from
not
what,
even
though?
without the Bran theory, because if you notice where they stab the guy in the flashback that they show of the children doing that, that's that grove that were in Winterfell.
And that was-
tree. That's where they are.
But back then they had weird trees everywhere.
No, but
There were a lot
no,
more.
no, but they've mentioned that's that place because it was in the somewhere in the.
Even if he got stabbed there, does that necessarily mean he's a Stark? I mean, what happened to all the Starks? There's still Starks alive that are not dead and not became.
I'm
the
not
Night
going to
King,
say
right?
it's confirmed, but I'm going to say it's pretty likely that the Night King is a past Stark.
It wouldn't be
It's
too far.
like- in
I
my
would see
opinion,
that
it's
as a
probably
more
like-
likely thing than Bran being. Because what's the what's the payoff if Bran is the Night King?
Right.
Like, does him being turned into, or like they'd have to incorporate time travel, and then they'd also have to explain like, hey, since he turned, did he go crazy or what?
My theory is a little bit different. It kind of ties in with yours about Danny and John
Uh-huh.
going head to head. When in this episode, when Danny's fighting the Night King, she's on her dragon, he's on the ground. He throws a ice spear at her, and then right after that, you don't see where it lands, but you do hear a distinctive sound of like pain, like she got hit. But then they don't mention anything about it. They
I thought it
don't
was
show.
more so she was just like making a noise because she was so close to freaking hitting her.
Yeah.
I thought it was maybe that she got hit, and that maybe for some reason she can take it because she's a Targaryen or she has the blood of dragons, but eventually that might overcome her and she might become the Night Queen.
I don't know, wouldn't you be able to see like a big fucking lance coming out of her body? If she
No, like if it grazed her, just enough for the magic of the spear, the Night King's
just
magic
like
a
to embed into her.
Just a
But-
gash.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I
maybe.
don't know.
Because-
But I'm with Jason on this. I think it missed her. But why would they show him throwing? Maybe.
Because that way she would get what she wants too, complete dominance and utter and faithfulness from her zombie army.
I think if Jon and Daenerys fight, it won't be necessarily because Daenerys is infected with Night King disease and will become a Night King.
It's
I
more
think
so just her personality.
yeah,
It's getting
just
out of
but
control.
human. You're just the nature. Human. It's just Jon as a person facing Dany as a person, and their own natural, like her natural whatever hot-headedness or that little
She
darkness
has
that she
major
has.
trust issues.
Yeah.
So this is another case where someone close to her, like John, is essentially betraying her
It'll
because
be
now he's saying
natural.
like he has
I
claim
feel
to the
yeah.
throne.
It feels like it's just human darkness versus human. Human darkness versus human whatever.
Yeah, because
The
John is always
natural-
wanting what's best for everyone.
natural
essentially.
humanity that's causing all these battles. Because all of Game of Thrones really is, before the White Walkers come, it's just people fucking up other people all the time. It's
Yeah.
over greed, over power, and
Yeah.
whatnot, right?
I do see that Daenerys is kind of ruthless, but at the same time, she does have a golden heart. Like she was trying to free the slaves, right?
In the
No,
end,
But that would be that would make sense. The ultimate sense. It's just that there's no good guy, there's no bad guy. It's just two people. They're fighting because that's how they.
Yeah,
because
they have
of their
different. They have different interests.
what they
have different-
want, what they want, and what they is in conflict.
But what if they
normal
just
conflict.
had a good talk and then settle their differences
But
and
That
rule
could happen
together?
too. I mean, like they don't
That's
necessarily
definitely
have
gonna
to
happen.
fight, but
But I don't think that's a George R. R. Martin ending, and I
No.
don't think they're gonna go.
The happy
No.
ending is like, they basically both take the throne, they get married,
As
and
king.
continue
Yeah,
the,
and then they're
the
just gonna
incestuous Targaryen
Have
crap.
some fight in the bedroom, things like that.
sure. But just
Well-
knowing how this shit goes, like he likes to show ugly human nature at its most ugliest sometimes, right? At just showing like good people dying for what it seems like. Like there's nothing worthy of note, right? And bad people or whatever people that like have all the power, and that's just how the way it goes.
I feel like I'm missing that from the last 2 seasons. We haven't seen that like same type of what do you call it? Like that human dynamic.
Well, it's because the last 2 seasons are kind of more concentrated towards here's this bigger threat, this non-living, non-human threat.
Because they've established the first 5-6 seasons they spent establishing the characters.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to show what those characters can do in the bigger scheme of things.
Well, I feel like it's also.
But then I think they also want to show what happens after that threat is subsided.
Yeah.
He wants to show like, okay, then the people go back to their petty grievances again, and they
the
start.
evil of humanity will rise.
Yeah,
Like they
yeah.
join together for this because they
Oh,
got
I
to
see what you're
fight the
saying.
bi-
So
fight-
you're saying that we're building this Jon and Daenerys team to fight this Night King, but now that threat's over,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
the pettiness comes back.
Well,
and-
this happens in
Yeah.
real life too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
This is a lot of instances in history.
I think in the film, the reason you want to build it is so that people are shocked when they're fighting each other. Or,
For me, it was just like, okay, the Night King, the Night King, and all the undead have been built up for so long, and it's just like, I always thought that they would be the last final fight, right?
I
A lot of people probably thought that.
Yeah,
and then
I think most people.
Now that they're dead in episode 3, you got 3 more episodes left, and you're thinking, okay, what could possibly happen now? You got 3 almost like movie-length episodes worth to fill. Cersei's gonna be one of them for sure, but you can't stretch out for like 3 episodes, I don't think.
I think just two or like 2 in the
One
bed.
and a one.
So
and a
what
half.
happens? What happens in those 3 episodes in this finale, right? So that's why people are
So
going.
your thing is that the creators of the show want to leave us with this question of, were the White Walkers really that bad? Because at least with the presence of the White Walkers, humanity was united.
Maybe maybe it's just like at the end it was fucking
It's like a common enemy to unite the rest of them.
yeah, but it's just showing like, oh, after that, people are back to their old ways or whatever.
Because they've been worried for the whole series. They've been worried about what the White Walkers will do to humanity when they get. But what you're saying is what humanity can do to itself will be more disastrous than what the White Walkers.
That was majority of what Game of Thrones. It is the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that's where
I'm
most
only
people
saying
connect
this
to.
like before this season started. I wouldn't have assumed that. I would have assumed the last episode was the White Walker final showdown.
Was the episode we just saw?
And it's showing in Game of Thrones is showing everybody putting away their differences to unite against this one common enemy, right?
Or they lose because
they lose.
They couldn't.
But now that there's
work
3
together.
episodes remaining and they seemingly killed off the biggest threat that they've been facing, and there's still 3 episodes remaining. That's why I'm basing it on.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going back there again. Like
It could. Like, that's definitely...
because they definitely have to get rid of Cersei. Cersei's the next big
yeah.
fight already, right? So how are you gonna fill the other episodes after?
Well, it's basically to fight for the throne, and I think the ending is who gets to
Right,
sit on
and the
it.
biggest
Yeah.
contradiction that we have right now is Daenerys and Jon, right? And you could already see the factions that you can tell who might go for who, right?
Yeah.
And so it seems like it's already set up naturally to be a conflict if it's not resolved.
Do you think there's a chance Tyrion would switch sides though? Because he
Jon.
likes both of them.
Oh, Tyrion and Jaime, or just Tyrion?
Well,
Tyrion, because
potent-
Jaime doesn't have.
Jamie
history.
said it. He's fighting for the living.
Yeah.
Well, he already did.
Like I don't even know who Jaime's gonna fight when it's Cersei versus them.
You know,
Well,
I don't know
no,
who he's gonna
I-
fight.
I
out
think
for.
he's not gonna.
He
fight
left
for-
Cersei. If he wanted to fight with her, he would have stayed in King's Landing.
No.
His motivation would have
I
been to
think-
stay in
I don't
King's
even know if he
Landing.
wants to fight against her. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if he wants to.
I
Sit
think
it
he'll
out.
fight. He'll fight against her, but then he's gonna protect her.
What if he's the one that actually kills her?
See, a lot of people say that, but here's my thing: is Cersei's pregnant with his baby. He's not gonna
least
kill
that-
her.
Or Euron's
That's-
baby,
the-
Mr.
or
Double
you-
Entendre motherfucker.
or,
What
maybe,
does this mean?
or maybe that's what she wants him to think. Because it
True.
could be Euron's
That's
baby.
fine.
She's
But he thinks that, and any future father, or well, he's already been a father. He's not gonna
Yeah.
kill his pregnant
It doesn't
wife.
seem like Jamie is the type of guy that would be also add, pregnant sister wife killer, adding that to the title. I don't think he'll do that.
Kingslayer, sister wife
Kingslayer
killer.
/ sister wife killer.
I mean, he's already lost like 3 other kids.
No, but here's
Yeah,
Oh, wow,
I'm
what's
sure.
another one? Just
Exactly.
throw it in.
here's the thing.
I think he wants a legacy.
she's shown her true nature by committing to kill both her brothers. She tried. Basically.
I know, but
But
So-
even Bran said,
it's hard to even imagine Tyrion to say, "Oh, I want to kill Cersei." Let alone Jamie. I think Jamie would be. It would be the hardest for him to want to kill Cersei.
I think if they're gonna fight Cersei, then it'll be Dany who takes Cersei down.
Of course, but when we're talking about loyalties, like I don't even know if is Tyrion's hard to say. Jamie, I really don't know, but Tyrion is.
I think if Dany takes her down, Cersei down, then both the brothers could side with Jon at that moment, after that moment happens, because for right now, they're thinking Tyrion's thinking Dany is the just ruler.
Right.
That when it comes to time, I can get my sister out of death penalty
Right.
or something. I'll talk to her and she'll agree to keep
Well, that's-
Cersei as a indentured servant or something instead of
Yeah.
That's what I meant for Tyrion picking sides. Though it's more so Jon or Daenerys.
Yeah.
Which
Oh.
one
I
can
like to
act.
think-
sorry, I thought you meant Cersei.
No.
Well, there was that too, but I mean, I don't think he'd pick her because
No, he would never pick
she's
Cersei.
always hated him his entire
He's
life.
already
too.
going to go against her. I just don't know if he'll actually, if she was defeated, I don't know if he'll be the one that says, yeah, look, kill her.
Yeah, that's
Whatever.
that's my thoughts with Jamie though. I think he's gonna. It's kind of like what Bryan said. He's gonna go against her, but if she should die, he wouldn't want her to.
Yeah, he wouldn't
If
want
he-
her to.
if-
It's just hard for me to imagine Jamie would actually take up arms, because like you said, he is only fighting for the living, right? He kept to fight the White Walkers. I don't know. Maybe he'll just sit this one out. Let's let them fight it out. It's not gonna.
maybe he just walks away at the beginning of the next episode as a legend, just like, hey, I'm done my thing.
Peace out.
I'm gonna go live in the
Do we-
woods.
Mic drops his fake hand and leaves.
who was the guy who was having sex with the horse in in the first episode, and he was
Everyone?
Braun, right?
Braun.
Okay.
Did we forget about him? Like, where is he?
He's with Cersei.
No,
No, he
he's
gave him a
supposed to-
job.
Yeah,
They gave him a
Cersei
job to
gave
go
him
right.
money to
Yeah.
assassinate his brothers.
Right.
You'll
So,
see that
right,
in the next
What's
couple
taking him so long?
Because
Because
it doesn't take one fucking day
No,
to get
but
back
he-
in Winterfell.
Remember, Tyrion's his first and only best friend. Tyrion is the one who gave him this in. So
But also,
is he
like-
really gonna kill Tyrion?
But also, does he value that over just a mercenary lifestyle?
I
that
think
he's
as
always-
much as he talks about gold, underneath it he has
Well,
he
he's gotten
has
so
common
much
sense.
already. Like
Yeah.
Tyrion gave him a ton of gold and like
Yeah.
lordship and everything essentially.
So as much as he talks about gold and whores and all that, I think at the end of the day, he might end up siding with Tyrion as well.
I know. I like to believe that, but then in season 1, I believed Ned Stark was going to be alive for the rest of the show.
So you don't think Bran's just gonna be like, it's just business, Tyrion?
Bran or
Or sorry, Bronn.
Braun?
It's just business.
No, I think
His name is Bronn, right? I didn't
Braun.
get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not Bran though.
Sorry, Bronn.
Braun, yeah, I think he's gonna end up siding with Tyrion. Like he'll come, but he's probably on his way here, but he's gonna side with Tyrion because he's become friends with both the brothers. Because after Tyrion, he had
Yeah, Jamie did stuff. Well, yeah, Jamie. He did stuff for
I mean,
Jamie, and
he's-
Jamie helped him out as well.
They
I keep
helped
going.
him learn how to fight with his
Yeah.
without his right hand.
Yeah, he's yeah. You're right. He's close with both the brothers.
And I keep going back to the Loot Train episode, but he saved Jamie from the dragon right there too, from
Yeah.
Drogon.
Yeah. Yeah, Jamie owes.
Oh, he pushed him in the
basically-
water.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie owes a lot to Braun.
So-
it's just whether if Braun would. I feel like he was gonna go for. There's that bond, I guess. Like, oh yeah, these guys are friends with him, but it's also it's just the way he is. He's a sellsword, right? So he's going for the highest bidder. He's also going for
He's gonna go for the winning side.
whatever
But-
side he has best chance of surviving.
But
on.
even as a sellsword, he's gonna go for the side that guarantees that he's gonna get something. Whereas Cersei is a backstabbing.
he
bitch,
probably knows
basically.
that.
She even if she says that, hey, I'll give you a million gold coins or whatever, that doesn't mean that once he does it, she will actually go through with her side.
Well, Lannister, yeah, she might be the first Lannister that doesn't pay her debts.
Exactly.
Well, she's the one that's like taking out so much from the Iron Bank.
Yeah,
You know,
but
but-
also like I Braun, it would make sense that he, like, at the end I'm agreeing with you because even if you just look at it very like cold-heartedly and logically, you can tell that Cersei is probably not going to survive this one, right? And if he wants to, if he's the guy that's like looking out for his own interests, even then you could probably tell, okay, those guys coming up from the north, they just defeated like the biggest threat to living humanity, and they're probably gonna roll Cersei unless Cersei pulls out something.
Well, here's the thing.
But Cersei has pulled out something. She has the Golden Company.
She
The
has
Golden
Golden
Company,
Compass.
right, and
And Jurgen.
there's some handicaps for the Northern Alliance, let's say, because Daenerys lost
They got
quite a
demolished.
bit of her
But
army.
Daenerys, here's the other thing. Daenerys hasn't lost everything though. You guys remember Dario Naharis, right?
Yeah.
And the Second Sons.
Yeah.
She left them back in the Free Cities to keep her control there.
Yeah, right, of
So
course.
He has an army of like what 10,000 guys working under him. Dario Naharis.
Yeah, I know,
The
but
Second Son,
like
so-
he is, you can't deny that Daenerys has been significantly weakened. She expended a lot of her own personal firepower. The Dothraki were hers, the
Yeah.
Unsullied were hers, right? They were the bulk of the army she brought over, and they got pretty.
At least
decimated
half of
out
them
there.
are
I don't
Yeah.
feel like it's a even split with John's army. I think she lost way more than John.
Well, she had
yeah.
more to lose.
She had more.
She had more
John,
to lose,
yeah. She
John,
brought up-
John had like 2,000 guys, maybe max.
Yeah, she brought up the majority of the forces there to defend, right?
Yeah.
And even if you Dario Naharis back in Bravos or where the fuck he is, like, if we're saying okay, he's gonna come as reinforcements, it's still gonna take time, right? Still,
Unless they're already on their way.
They're already on their way.
Right.
They could be on their way because when the Golden Company moves from there would have been rumors spreading around that why are they going to Westeros? So then people would find out that hey, they're going because Cersei called them.
right.
And then Dario, knowing that Cersei is Dany's mortal enemy, would understand that hey, maybe I need to go back up Dany.
Yeah, that's possible too. But like,
So
Daenerys
he
doesn't
does-
have the overwhelming advantage that
He
she
doesn't have to
did.
wait for Dany to call him. Like he could be on the way too, just right behind the Golden Company.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
but
in the next episode, one of the first things they'll probably do is just make a statement or something about just how much they've lost or how much they still have.
they will have to address that.
Yeah.
How much do you think the next episode will be built up before they fight?
I don't think it'll be all too well. It's gonna be build up, but also the travel time will be.
I think
all
episode
in
will be
this.
the build up. By the end of episode 4, they'll be at King's Landing or they'll be at the battleground.
Or
wherever-
somewhere
in the
middle.
If
Yeah.
it's in the middle somewhere.
And also, I think with Braun, right?
Braun.
Yeah.
The
I think he
South-
could also just peace out. He could just take the money and leave.
He could, but at the end of the day, he has still some kind of brothership camaraderie with Tyrion that I don't think he would just walk out like that.
Well, you mean instead of killing them, he probably just
Or
take the
instead
money.
of-
Yeah,
Yeah.
just take the money and that brother shit is like, oh, he's my friend. I'm not gonna kill him. And just
Yeah.
take off. Because he knows that.
he could, even if he does that, but then he'll come back to their side. I have a feeling he's gonna be.
Yeah,
on
he
their
might
side.
just come back for the reunion party of the. Yeah, we
No,
got seriously.
No, he's gonna get his blade, like he's gonna get his sword wet with.
So
Oh, not that he
Yes,
does
is
this
this
on
a
a regular
euphemism?
basis.
Is that a metaphor? It's getting
That's a
hoarse?
double entendre.
Yes.
Hey, what are the chances of us getting a Clegane fight?
It's very high. Clegane
happening.
Bowl's coming
That's-
right up.
That's for sure.
That
Good.
is
I'm
a
looking
given.
forward
That
to
is
that.
for sure, because that would be before Cersei fights herself. She's gonna send out the Mountain, and the Mountain. Who else is gonna step up to the Mountain? Nobody.
But his brother.
His brother, yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Hopefully that's a
But
good
we
fight.
saw his brother have like a weakness. Like when he was fighting
Well,
the
we knew
knight,
his
he was like
weakness.
scared.
no. He was scared
He's
of the fire
Oh, he was scared of the fire.
because he's traumatized because he burnt his brother burnt him when he was
Wait.
a kid.
Wait. You never saw the episode where he says he's scared of fire?
No.
Because you have your fucked up way of watching stuff. Where you
I've only
watch it
seen
backwards.
I've only seen season 1.
You know, it'd be so funny if you didn't
That's
even
why.
see episode 3.
That's why. You don't know. Yeah, he's scared of the fire, man. Because his
Oh,
face
the
was
fire.
His
disfigured.
brother.
He was burned when he was like 7 years
Yeah,
old or
his
something.
brother-
So he has a
burnt
phobia
him.
of fire.
That makes
Not
sense.
just because. What do you think it was? Nighttime?
Oh
Not
my
walking.
god!
Oh,
I thought he was just afraid of like
If you notice,
like he just like felt like, oh, we're defeated. We can't fight them.
that's why he's always been hesitant with joining Thoros of Myr and Beric Dondarrion because they're the
He lights a
they're-
sword on fire. He doesn't
yeah.
like that.
and they're worshippers of the Lord of Light, which is basically fire, and the whole religion is like fire worship. So
Well, that makes more sense.
that's why he always.
This is why also you should watch it like normal people and just start from season 1 and just watch it in order instead of just fucking
Well,
nitpicking episodes
I
backwards.
do think people will correct you if you're wrong.
He doesn't
No.
know who Ned Stark is.
Do you know who Ned Stark is? Do you know what character Sean Bean played?
I didn't actually know the actor's name,
Oh,
but
fuck.
I do know Ned Stark. Yeah.
I didn't realize Sean Bean is 60 years old. He just recently, I think,
man.
had his birthday like a couple weeks ago or something.
Yeah,
He's
Boromir looks good.
60.
I
Hey,
imagine
Sean,
that
if
he's
you're
always-
listening to this, you want to be a guest? That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I can tell. And then he also did the well, you won't care about this, but he did the voices for Civ 6. So whenever you research
really?
in technology, he reads it out or something like that.
That's him? Wait,
In
Civ
what?
6.
Civ 6.
Okay.
It's Sean
Oh.
Bean reading as the narrator
Oh, that's pretty cool.
ish. In 5 it was Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, yeah, I knew
Okay.
that one.
And then oh shit, was it Leonard Nimoy in 5 or was he 4?
He was one of them for
I
sure.
think he was
It was
5.
probably 5 because I played 5 a lot more.
Okay, Leonard Nimoy was 5. Sean Bean was in 6. He did the voice narration for 6. So I'll ask him about Civ 6,
Yeah.
and then he'll be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, you did voices for a video game." He's like, "Well, that was fucking work, buddy. Don't ever talk to me ever again."
All right, Mr. Bean, it's on
What
you
the
now.
fuck is this?
Anytime you want, just let us know.
Fuck off.
At verbal laxative.
I can't do it. I think British, and that's just what comes up. Hello, governor. That's Sean Bean
He's
right
cockney
there.
also.
Hello, governor.
What were we talking about before
One
this
does not
tangent?
walk into. I don't know.
How-
Now it's
Bryan
going
wa-
to like New Jersey.
Hey, one doesn't walk into Mordor.
We were talking about how Bryan watches the show.
One
out.
does
yeah,
not
yeah,
walk
right,
into
right.
Mordor. I don't know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Anyways.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
One does not.
Oh.
One does not simply walk into
So,
Mordor.
did you know the day after, on Monday, our newspaper here, on the front page, the top of the front page,
Yeah.
there was a spoiler that was like a picture of Arya like jumping about to stab, and then saying Kingslayer.
Huge
Really?
spoiler.
Yeah.
Right on Monday.
So I think
I did not watch.
so. This is an
that.
interesting thing because like when Game of Thrones episode 3 came out, Avengers also came around the same time, right?
Yeah.
Please, I haven't
And-
seen it yet. Please
Well,
don't
no,
spoil it.
I won't talk about Avengers. But what I'm trying to say is how people treat spoilers. People seem to treat spoilers for TV shows differently than they treat movies. Whereas TV shows, people are less they're more willing to spoil.
Yeah.
Because they assume it's a global thing where everyone has access to watching it.
Yeah.
Whereas movies, because you have to you're slotted in specific times.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, we can't talk about it until
Yeah.
could be years potentially for some people, right?
Some guy got beat up outside of a theater.
Yeah, there's
I
some
heard about
trolls
that.
where they will yell spoilers
While
as
they-
people are sitting to watch the movie and
Yeah.
then run off.
No, but this guy was apparently he watched it himself and was leaving the theater, and like the lineup outside for the next show, he spoiled
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
and
And
they beat the shit out of him.
That's not new too, because
People take that serious.
that happens with remember Luke, I'm your father, like that
They did that on The Simpsons.
they did that.
Yeah,
exactly.
they're walking out. I was like, can you believe that Darth Vader's Luke's father? And people in line are like, what the hell?
Oh, yes, that was Homer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we should. Oh, yes. But I feel like for movies and TV, people treat spoilers differently.
Yeah.
So
I
for a
don't
newspaper
know.
to have that, as one, yeah, it kind of sucks. But two, it's not as unexpected compared to if they had done it for Avengers.
Wait, so how do you? I don't really understand the difference because I treat spoilers basically the same for TV and movies.
Well, I think Brian's saying in the general sense, like that a spoiler for a TV show isn't a big deal.
Like it's
as
more
a-
acceptable than
acceptable.
It's
as-
acceptable because it's global, because everyone has access to TV, or it's
Not
assumed
global.
that.
Not really global. HBO isn't exactly.
Yeah, HBO isn't also.
Friggin'
premium.
China got the edited version of the episodes.
Yeah.
6 minutes removed with episode 2.
Yeah.
They removed all the sex scenes, like
Yeah,
Arya's sex
the funny
scenes.
thing I saw about that because the Chinese president made references to Game of Thrones in one of his speeches to I guess like this World Forum, and he
Yeah.
was basically saying like, hey, we should cooperate together. We shouldn't like fucking devolve and be at each other's throats like it's Game of Thrones or some shit like that, right? And then they were like, and then the newspapers did some interview with some aides or some people in the know. And they're like, oh, does the Xi Jinping, does he have time to watch Game of Thrones? And the guy was like laughing or something, and he's like, or like, do you know, does he watch like the full version or the censored version on mainland China? And then they laughed, and they're like, no, he gets the even shorter one because he has no time, right? So he gets the diamond version, just the 20-minute
He just gets the
episode of Game
trailers.
of Thrones or some
He
shit
gets
like that.
the compilation. It's
Yeah,
just someone
it's-
stitching it together.
It's basically like, yeah, you it's just like the state. I don't know. It's the state summary bureau or whatever, movie summary bureau that just gives him a 20-minute edited clip for him to watch. There's a speed watching of episodes.
That would suck.
So do you?
He was probably I don't know if he was joking or not. It might be a joke. It might not be a joke. Who the fuck knows?
Were people upset with the newspaper when they revealed a
I
spoiler?
think so. I saw it. It was posted on Reddit, so I saw that, and then just the first few comments were saying how it was spoiler. And
Well, no shit, right?
well,
That's like right.
well, I mean, like how
Well-
they were upset that they put a spoiler on the
Yeah,
front page.
on the like literally like hours after the episode is aired, because it was Sunday night and
Yeah.
the newspaper's out early in the morning.
Yeah.
Like,
So they put
Yeah,
it.
if you
They're
didn't
like,
watch on Sunday, you like to read the paper, you would have been fucked.
I feel like also the paper probably did it strategically, because almost like bad press is good press in a way, right? Or attention. you
So
could
yeah,
say.
the paper wants to be known as that shithole paper. That
Well, that's
spoils
what
stuff.
people do for
don't
movies.
even look at their newsstands.
But I'm saying like for movies, there are reviewers that will do the opposite. If the movie does really well, they will write a bad review just so that people will read it.
It's
right?
just contrarian review, but it's different. Like that's different from just fucking spoiling the movie front page the next day as a major local paper.
I guess yeah, you're right.
I mean,
the context is different.
I don't
but-
think that's gonna help, the viewership of the paper at all. Like people will be like, "What the fuck was that?" Like that seems like a "what the fuck was that" moment. Like the kind of moment that papers want to avoid, because their nightmare is having a "what the
Yeah.
fuck" moment.
papers are already in deep trouble with
What the fuck was that
moment?
internet media. Papers are already disappearing. They're not gonna try and fuck it up even more for them.
Well, they survive with subscription.
Yeah.
But you're right.
But
They're in
not,
trouble.
Not many people are subscribing because you can get free.
Even less people if they showed spoilers right after, like deliberately front page.
I was just thinking in our meeting at work today, how you're almost spoiled for the Avengers.
Oh my fuck.
Oh really?
Wait,
Yeah, we were in like a
you
work.
were
We're in a
spoiling
meeting,
yourself?
and then right at the end of the meeting, like the last 3 minutes of the meeting, manager was like, "So," it was basically like, "So, did you guys watch Avengers or something?" I was like, fuck. and then Jason's trying to hint like, oh, I don't want to, like, it's like, yeah, I watched it, but I don't want to spoil it. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, looks in my direction. And then the boss just totally didn't get the memo. It was like, yeah, my son asked me if I wanted to know the ending of it. And then I'm like, oh!
It was just funny because, you know, she hasn't even seen it. She's fairly older too and probably not going to see it for a while. It's like she almost spoiled
Just
it.
gave it away. She doesn't even give a shit. She's like, yeah, she even comes up the story. I asked my son what was the ending. Like, what was the I wanted to know.
Oh yeah, that's someone that was, it was reminding me of how you like to enjoy your movies and stuff, Brian.
Yeah.
Where you like spoilers.
Your fucking philosophy.
There's a paper that was done on this. There's a study done where they gave people stories and they also spoiled it for people, and then they watched the movie and then they rated their enjoyment, and they did find that people who were spoiled actually enjoyed the movie more.
Get the fuck out of here. It doesn't matter.
Did you do the
Was
study by any
this study
chance?
like 4 people out of 7 million?
I don't remember
They should have
exactly
also
the
done
number.
the study.
Was this study 1 in 4 and you're just like saying this is the study right here?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot more people. There's a lot more people that just don't want to hear spoilers. Like, people get the shit kicked out of them by hearing spoilers.
Oh man, I remember I spoiled a movie for you once, and I felt like shit for like 2 weeks.
Oh, that was fine. I was gonna watch that movie.
No,
But here's-
I know, but like still, I felt like shit after. I'd
I'd say it when I'm like, hey, I don't want, no spoilers for that. La 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 la.
I forget which
I'm
one.
fine
we
with
were talking
spoilers if it's for something I'm not gonna watch, or if it's something where it's like so old that I'm past that
But
point.
movies you want to watch, you are hardcore about. You don't even watch
I don't
the
watch
trailers.
I watch trailers after I see
Yeah,
the movie.
You don't even, he doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even watch trailers. Just that's how much you don't want spoilers.
Which, by the way, I watched the trailer for Avengers recently, and it actually didn't give too much away, which I
about.
was
No, they didn't.
kind of
You
surprised
could.
by.
Well, I don't want to talk about it, actually.
yeah.
Well, he still hasn't seen Avengers, so
Motherfucker.
we're gonna stay away
I
from
would,
that.
I would totally spoil it based on my analysis. But what I was trying to say is my golden rule about spoilers is that even if you know the ending, a good story is still a good story.
Yes, and I know the story behind this, where our mutual friend said that to you, and then he regrets saying that to you because it created a monster. He himself doesn't even support that anymore.
I do have another friend. He annoys me. Where
Wait, he annoys you?
he annoys me,
Jesus.
but he doesn't like spoiler, just like Jason. And
Like
so,
normal people, like fucking not just
Like
Jason.
everybody, not
in a
just him.
sense,
Not just Jason, but
But
the
what I'm trying
majority
to
of
say
people.
is he doesn't also have time to watch these movies, so we can never discuss about movies. Because I'm always like, I want to spoil them, but he hasn't seen them, so we never talk about these movies. And by the time he watches them, it'll be like 2 years from the point of me being excited at that movie that I don't even remember that movie anymore.
Would you be willing to say his first name, last name, and address?
What I'm trying to say
so we
is,
can get him on the podcast.
what I'm trying to say is, while we put restraint on people spoiling, we should also put on restraint on people who don't want to hear about spoilers. Like,
Yeah,
if your
also-
intention was like you should have a time limit where you're not we don't spoil, but
Right.
once you pass that time limit,
Oh,
you haven't
okay.
watched
Right,
that
no,
movie,
what you're
we should be allowed to
That's a
talk
little
about
more
it.
Yeah.
reasonable. I was expecting to be like you take gunpoint, like
You-
take him at gunpoint to the theater.
If someone really is worried about spoilers and they really want to watch the movie, then go fucking watch the movie,
Go
right?
fucking watch.
Right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't ruin a party because everyone wants to talk about it, and you're like, well, I haven't watched it. And it's like, well, it's been like 2 months, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. But it's like,
That-
what's your breaking point for that? How long after a movie's released?
Well, you know what the
Well-
guy would do if he was just not if he just wants to take it for a team, he'll just be like he'll just fuck off for a while you guys talk about the movie. He'll just go do
For
something else.
for Endgame, the Russo brothers tweeted that the spoiler ban ends this month, like Monday.
Yeah, when Endgame came out early for the movie reviewers, when you watch those reviews, they barely said anything. And then I think once it became public access, like when regular people can watch it, then you start seeing like spoiler reviews.
Right.
Also,
Because their
like-
original reviews are almost garbage. Like not garbage in the sense they weren't done well.
It's
but
just
they
general.
Were,
It's
they
just
were it was just like they were
Feel
just
good-
dancing around it.
feel
They
good
didn't say
movie of the
anything.
year,
Yeah.
closes up the storylines.
That being
perfectly.
said, I have a friend, our mutual friend. He really didn't had a problem with them sending out that letter saying, "Please don't spoil the movie." I also kind of think it's like it's kind of like why send out the letter anyway?
No, but I think they have to because we live in a world where with the social media, there's little shits on social media.
But you're doing the opposite.
They're
though.
still gonna do it. I mean, like it's not good. They're not gonna stop. The people that do spoil it out of enjoyment, they're not gonna stop.
If anything, you're encouraging.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, fuck them. I'm gonna spoil it
Trolls
more.
want to, like, if you tell trolls don't do something, or you tell flamers don't flame, they're just gonna do the exact
Yeah.
opposite.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, but I think they were doing their part to say like, hey, we don't appreciate this kind of stuff.
It's also-
we've spent this much time creating this.
Yeah.
For people to enjoy, and people want to enjoy it.
But that's true for every movie. That's true more or less for every movie creator, right? But
Yeah.
if I'm saying like, hey, please don't spoil our movie. Fuck the other movies.
Right, but
please
no,
don't spoil our
but
movie.
it's not about just this movie. This is the culmination of 11 years of movies, 22 movies. It's not like we're talking about one random movie.
Yeah, but like they
Like
didn't
this,
do that.
this is a whole story arc of 22 movies.
I don't think they did. They didn't do that for Harry Potter. They didn't do that for Star Wars.
Well, for Harry, I was actually thinking just now of Harry Potter. You know, when the last book came out, people are already, like, right when it got released, basically, people were saying spoilers. You know, Dumbledore dies or whatever, but there was also
What?
like.
That was
But then there was also like stuff saying like, oh, Harry dies at the end too.
yeah,
but-
counter
Oh,
propaganda.
there
Yeah,
were fake.
that's
There
the
were
thing.
fake spoilers.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I'm not gonna read this book or anything. So I actually looked at a bookstore, read the last few pages. I'm like, oh, Harry's talking in this. He lives.
He
I'm
obviously
done.
didn't die, right?
Unless he's talking from the
See
afterlife.
the zombie
Yes.
afterlife Harry.
I know in the TV series that I follow, they film different endings. So, because people, they're like paparazzi, they're gonna look for it, and then a newspaper put out spoilers before the episode was aired, and they put out one of the fake endings that they had filmed.
Yeah.
I wish they would do that more. The only one I know of for a movie that actually filmed different endings and they showed different ones at different theaters was Clue, the movie. It was like pretty old by now, but
Oh
they
yeah, I
had
heard of
different-
that.
yeah.
The challenge with that is when you like bring someone to watch that movie, and you're like, wait, I don't remember this, because they were thinking of doing that for Black Mirror, Bandersnatch, before it was a
But that's
choose your own adventure.
Okay.
Their original idea was that when your first viewing you would get one ending, but then your second viewing you would get a different ending. That was one of their original ideas for that movie, TV series.
So wait, when you said the newspaper came out the spoiler for the movie, they did it on purpose?
Well, this was for Game of Thrones.
No, I mean like the one that you just said
Clue.
for Clue.
Oh, for Clue.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a matter of spoilers for that one. I was just saying
Like the fake or
They had
the
alternate
weak
endings.
Well, actually, in Clue, they were all real endings. They just there were alternate endings.
Oh, alternate.
So
okay.
depending on where you watch or what time, you
Okay.
might get a different ending
Oh,
than
okay,
someone
yeah.
else.
because it's like based on Clue, the board game,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, you have to guess who the killer
Oh, okay,
is.
I see what you mean now.
So it's like
Okay.
at the end it'd be a different killer or something.
Which you would be like, but then reviews would be wild. It'd be like, I got the bad ending. I got the good ending. I
Yeah,
got the
that's why I'm
mediocre
like,
or the
okay.
funny
It
ending.
would be so dumb.
It's kind of like video game almost in
Yeah.
a sense.
They should do that on Netflix, like the original idea for Bandersnatch.
Well, I seen that there's doing more now. They did one with Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you get to
I just said-
choose the torture for him. Like, well, what do you want me to do? Fight this alligator
Eat
or
some
fight?
shit.
Yeah,
Eat some
what do you
shit
want me
again.
to eat? Shit or a turd?
Can you imagine,
sandwich?
like-
Yeah, they actually had. I did the thing with my friend just on the weekend, the Bear Grylls thing.
Yeah.
And there actually was a choice, like, you want me to eat this bear turd, or do you want me to look for like other sorts of
You
food?
made him eat it. Did he eat it?
He was like picking off whatever bear, like from the turd.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you should wash this off with snow.
Does he look at you and be like, fuck you? And just like toss the shit out.
I
And
was
just walk away.
I was
So
like
stupid.
watching that because there's a lot of episodes. I think the worst one was like he was like in the desert, or he was in somewhere really hot, and then he found like elephant shit. And elephant dunk's like,
Yeah.
good, I can get moisture from it. Just lifts it up and just squeezes water out
Yeah.
into his mouth.
Dude,
And then I'm
this
just
mess.
imagining the camera guy is just like, Jesus Christ, does he feel like guilty because he has like a bottle of water like right on him, and he's like, oh
Well,
man.
more tame than that though is like when the choice was, you want me to eat like all these termites that were on his hand, or like
Oh.
he has like this huge fat grub.
Yeah.
And choose the grub because I've seen it before him do it.
Yeah,
before.
yeah, yeah.
Tear off the head, all the guts come out, and then he like just bites it, and like all the crap comes
Yeah,
out
yeah,
when he
it
bites
squirts
into
out.
it. Yeah, so they do that too. It's like, Jesus Christ, man, how much does this guy get paid for this?
Plus, like he has to film all of that
Yeah.
beforehand, right? So there's like what like the director say, I think we're gonna have at least 5 to 10 shots of you just eating shit.
Yeah, it's like we didn't. That grub shot wasn't great. Can we do that again?
Yeah, or like
from the top.
He's like, why do I have to eat shit so many times? He's like, oh well, you know, our research shows that, you know, we're probably expecting 10 different scenes of you just eating shit. So we're gonna have to do that. And then at the end they only show like one scene. They don't show like the other 9 scenes of just eating shit.
When they did Bandersnatch, they were collecting data and they found that there was a choice where it's like, oh, do you throw the tea on your computer or you throw coffee on your computer? And they found that like when it was for tea, British people wouldn't because they.
Oh, I think I heard that.
They were
too.
like
I think we
biased.
heard it from you.
Yeah, I may have mentioned that. But what I'm trying to say now is, so like as you're selecting things for Bear, they're also analyzing you, like, oh,
How gross are you?
how nice is Jason, or
That's
how
what I'm saying,
merciful,
like, I think
or
they
how
said-
like does he want punishment? Do people just want to see something?
Yeah, I think they're like, Bear, you know what? We ran the analytics and we're gonna have to let you eat shit. We're gonna get you to eat shit like 20 times.
What if he finds he sees the data and be like, wow, people hate me.
No, they just want to see you eat shit.
They just
Oh,
see
yeah,
him want to
like
eat
that.
shit. Yeah.
It's kind of. I didn't really like it overall though, because some of it seemed kind of stupid. It's like part of it's like, oh, what equipment should I take? Like this slingshot or this grappling hook and rope and stuff. I picked that, but it's like, and then you come to a choice where you can use it, and then I'm like, no, I'm gonna go another route. But then down the road, then it's like, oh, I gotta climb this cliff. So should I use this vine or should I like, you know, use this like tree that's pushed over, like, you know, across the gap? I'm like, we have a grappling hook. Can we just use that? And he's like, no. It's like that's not even a choice. So it's kind of stupid in that way.
So you kind of wish you had more choices.
You kind of wish that Bear Grylls was doing it
I wish I could
live,
talk to him.
and you were directing him what to do.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
He would die so many times.
That would be cool if they could like do like an AI thing, you know, put an AI in a universe and then he'll get to a path and you can tell him what to do.
So like
It wouldn't even have
really
to be
old
AI.
game.
It would just be more or less. It would be more or less a game, and then
Yeah, it would be like a game. Exactly.
They had that game in like the stupid DOS game that you could like type in what you want the person to do.
Yeah,
Kill
exactly.
your-
Just
Well,
with
it'd
more
be
graphics and stuff.
What was that old game? It was really old.
Yeah,
it
that's
was,
what I'm thinking.
It was like like a Western frontier.
Oregon
like,
Trails.
Yeah, Oregon Trails. It's kind of like that. You gotta make choices, right?
Die of dysentery.
Yeah, die of dysentery. One of the worst ways. Just shit yourself to death.
That was an option.
Yeah, well, it's not like an option. It was just. It's not like,
It's
so,
just
hey,
what happens.
you want to go out that way?
Yeah.
Here, man, drink
Let's
this.
go out now.
Fuck yeah! The ultimate cleanse. No, it was like a result of a bad choice.
Cleanse you of your soul.
All right, man. We're at an hour 21 now. Anything else you want to say?
Well, this was a
Game of Thrones heavy.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we certainly came up with a theme just by winging
Spoiler
it.
cast.
Yeah, spoiler cast. All right, no last words. We're probably just gonna end it then.
Well, I do have something lighter if you want to do a
Yeah,
bonus
sure.
round.
We can finish with that. We got.
Oh, before that, can I ask Brian? Can I ask you a question? What do you think Arya's motivation is going to be in the next episode?
All right, so now that she killed the Night King, like, I feel like she doesn't get to kill Cersei. Someone else is gonna get it. That like, you know what I mean? Like she got the Night King kill.
like, yeah.
That it would just be like not satisfying for her to kill Cersei. So to be
Just for
honest, I
TV
feel like
sake.
she doesn't have a motivation anymore.
Okay, predictions on who's gonna potentially kill Cersei. If
I'm
that's the way it
thinking
goes.
Danny.
And
But
you're
I would
Brian.
be okay. I'm thinking Danny. I think most likely Danny. But for most dramatic justice, Jamie.
Jamie, yeah.
So
Jamie, yeah.
Or
because
Tyrion. Jamie or Tyrion.
because Arya killed Night King, I'm gonna vote Sam. No one's gonna expect it.
Okay.
Like he has no reason to kill her.
Why not just fucking extra number 2? just some fucking poor schlub.
Well, we gotta. People love Sam and people
Well-
love Cersei.
Well, people love extra number 2 as well. Hey, why
do
does
love
extra number
extra
2?
two.
Oh.
Extra number 2 coming.
Oh, wow. One thing we forgot to talk about for episode 3. How safe were the crypts, huh?
Yeah, if that was,
was
people
stupid.
called that one.
How did a freaking
Yeah.
How did a freaking skeleton break through the freaking door
It's
or whatever?
fucking strong, man.
Which is really confusing because the one that they took to King's Landing to show Cersei couldn't break out of a wooden box.
Yeah, but this one that one was a strong one. That was
Yeah,
probably,
he had so much no muscles.
that was Ned Stark's.
So
like,
much no
That was
muscles.
Ned Stark's like beefy uncle back then.
He was just like a bone man, though,
Yeah.
right? So like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Gord Stark.
that was one that was another stupid, like, fans called it, people called it, but I think it was pretty stupid. Like, how would they break out of stone crypts? Like,
They need, yeah. It's, like I said, Gord Stark, man, fucking strong ass uncle.
so one thing it's not a big deal that I've been upset about throughout basically Game of Thrones was just the size of their direwolves. They're not as big as they
they're
should
not
be.
that
They've
big.
shrunk.
They should be like sizes of horses and
Yeah.
stuff, but they're like almost normal wolf size.
Yeah.
Oh, we did get to see Ghost,
Actually,
we did get to
but
see
no,
him.
but we also didn't see him come back.
He's alive though. I think
he's alive.
They well, someone on Twitter approved it in the next scene.
Oh, the next. Okay.
Yeah, he's
fair
in the
enough.
he's in the.
Well,
but
Did we talk about this in the second episode or whatever when they just showed Ghost while John is talking to Sam and he's just Ghost is just in the background and it's
Yeah.
like why is no one acknowledging Ghost?
Oh,
But that was about it.
Was
That's
just
the
haunting
outrage.
them.
Well, it's like why would you not go up to him and like pet him or something? Like,
Because he's not physically there. Because they cost a
Okay.
lot of money.
I think
Just for costs.
I think the direwolves were actually bigger towards the middle of the series, like in season 4, 5.
when they showed Nymeria, she seemed bigger.
They fluctuate in size.
And even Ghost in season when John is knight, the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, that and Snow's like around
Yeah,
him all the
it's
time. He
weird.
looked huge. Snow.
And I think
Or Ghost, sorry, not
was it
Snow.
Summer or Greywind? Whoever was at the castle that I think it's Greywind. It looked pretty big too when he
Yeah.
attacks whatever dude. I forget their name.
They
It's been too
fluctuate
long,
in
but
size depending on the day.
It's part of their powers
Yeah,
because they're supposed to be mythical too.
yeah. It's kind of like when Mario eats the mushroom, he goes big, and he gets hit, he goes small. That's the direwolf.
I think they had to make a choice. Like, do we keep making the dragons bigger or the wolves bigger with the CGI?
We got to
They
keep the
only
scale.
have money for like, okay, this is like exact cost. It costs the same to make the dragons really big, but as it does to make the.
I think it's all
direwolves just a little
scale.
bit
That's the
bigger.
thing. They were just like doing the math, and we are just tired of it.
They don't care.
But Jason, who do you think will kill Cersei?
I think it's gonna be. I don't know. That's
It could be another. Sorry to cut you off.
no. I was thinking it's gonna be someone like we wouldn't think of. Like
I-
he went with Sam. That's totally out of.
My other option would be
Just cover the bases.
no, someone who really has beef with her would be Sansa.
Yeah,
Or-
Sansa would be good.
Okay, yeah.
Sansa
yeah,
would be
that,
good.
that can make sense.
Like
she
Sansa-
knows to stick him with the pointy end now.
Yeah.
Jon, Sansa, Daenerys.
John, not so much. I don't see John killing Cersei.
No?
John is
I
more like a forgiving guy.
Yeah, I see either.
Oh, he might like beat her, but then like just like let's imprison her kind of thing.
yeah,
I'm starting to
or
think
or
that
bend the knee to me. Or
I'm starting to think extra number 2 is a strong contender, and also another
Could
one.
be.
I think another strong contender is venereal disease. Venereal disease is gonna kill Cersei.
I'm surprised it hasn't yet.
Well, the Jamie killed the last king, or I should say not last king, but Aerys.
I thought,
So-
yeah.
Aerys, or is it?
Mad King Aerys?
Yeah.
You still think
So-
Jamie might do it?
There's another thing that just came to me. What's his name?
Euron.
Euron could kill her too.
I had that thought.
I thought
too,
he loves
but-
her. Why
He
would
doesn't
He
love
loves her.
her.
He loves
Her.
power.
He loves.
He
yeah,
wants to be king.
Of
If
course,
he
you think
marries
that's
her,
love. Of
if he
course.
marries her, he becomes king of the Seven Kingdoms right now. That's why.
He's in a bad position to
He is.
kill
Unless-
her.
I can
like
see
he,
that-
he requires her to be alive so that he doesn't get killed himself.
Well, that's the
Right.
thing. I think he would be the only option if they actually do get married before that, and then if he kills her, he'd still be king potentially.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
the
that's
thing.
the only case.
Yeah, I could see him kill her if Cersei wins.
Yeah, if she wins, that would be the upset. If Cersei fucking wins, no one would ever see that coming.
Yeah, actually, yeah, we should. That potentially could be it.
I mean, it could. I
Can
don't
you
know why we're
imagine?
just assuming that she's
Just
gonna
the
lose.
upset. That would be an upset
She,
victory.
she has the healthy army.
Can you imagine? That's what George R. R. Martin was hinting at. It's
could
like, I
be.
want it to be just fucking desolate. All the Starks died of Cersei in the last episode.
It could be.
Holy
He
shit.
modeled he modeled Cersei after like his ideal woman. It's like she will be the hero of the story.
Holy.
We've been with her since the beginning.
Oh my god. Yeah, like Cersei wins and her and Euron go on to rule the Seven Kingdoms.
Nah, if
The
she
end. Da, 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 da.
if she wins, she might kill Euron.
Yeah, okay, whatever. She wins. She kills Euron. She rules 7 kingdoms. Da, and she finally gets her elephants. Da, da, da,
She
da,
didn't
da,
get the
da,
elephants
da, da.
though.
What?
What? When
She
did we
didn't
get
get elephants.
elephants?
She was so salty about not getting elephants.
Yeah, she didn't get the elephants.
I know,
No,
but
he's
she'll
saying that
finally
she
get
will.
her elephants
Oh.
after she
Yeah,
wins
once
the
she wins,
war.
she'll get the elephants. Dun, 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 dun.
Da, 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 da.
This podcast gets
So-
demonetized for copyright material.
Corny ending potentially. Like a Dorne Lord family is just like summer is coming.
Summer.
Set up a spin-off.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened to spring? I thought spring comes out.
Nah,
the
it's
winter.
just winter and summer.
Just
Fuck.
winter and summer.
Yeah. This is spring, summer.
Spring doesn't or autumn doesn't really have a
Summer is coming.
Just in shorts.
No, in Westeros, I think it would just be buck naked. There wouldn't be any shorts.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
It'd be
yeah.
like summer is
them,
coming.
Just
them
swinging
Dornish
dick.
people are different, you know. They have maybe they like to go out in swimming trunks and the
Oh yeah, we
bikinis
haven't really
as well.
seen much Dorne lately. Maybe
That's
those
because that was
make
the
a shot.
dumbest fucking storyline.
No, I mean like in
Actually.
this war, leading towards this war.
Yeah.
Well,
the
because
Dorns aren't. They kind of isolate themselves, so
Well, they don't really want to help anybody because
they don't. But they're still affected by this, so they
Yeah,
might.
but they were like they'd rather wait it out because remember Dorne was like one of the last places that
That-
Targaryens conquered, right?
Yeah.
They were really stubborn motherfuckers.
they still want they're
They're
still want
thinking that the Night King comes like, we'll just negotiate with that
Yeah.
guy. Why fuck?
they still want their independence, even though they're part of the Seven Kingdoms under the Targaryens, even before Robert Baratheon. They are one of the one like I
They
guess
are the
state.
Bloc Quebecois.
Yeah, exactly.
So this will, I guess, go into the bonus then. Hey.
Sorry to all those script
You
writers.
could probably
that they
split
probably
it
got
around
turned
the
down.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing. The first half will be Game of Thrones. This one will be movie.